Sun-jae and Im-sol are caught in the rain but finally find a place to sit and talk. Sun-jae apologizes for his earlier misunderstanding and promises her that he'll win a gold medal, asking her to trust him. It turns out he's shared with his best friend In-hyuk his plan to win the medal and confess his feelings to Im-sol. Acting as a cupid, In-hyuk encouraged him to find the right moment to confess. When Sun-jae wins the medal, he believes it's finally time and even chooses a special restaurant for the confession. However, Im-sol misreads his mood as hunger-related and insists they eat somewhere healthier, thrilled that he succeeded without injury and thinking she's changed his fate. Over dinner, Sun-jae tentatively asks if she likes Tae-sung, but she firmly denies it, giving him hope that he could win her heart. They enjoy a sweet day together, with Sun-jae searching for the perfect time to confess. But something always interrupts him. Even on the bus, he thoughtfully tries to help her, but the timing is never quite right. Back home, In-hyuk sets the stage for Sun-jae to finally confess. But before Sun-jae can complete his confession, Im-sol misunderstands and asks if they can just be friends. In-hyuk reminds Sun-jae he hasn't technically been rejected, as he never actually confessed. Elsewhere, Gun Seok secretly returns a movie Sun-jae borrowed, paying the late fee. Though unseen, Bok-soon recognizes it was him. The next day, Im-sol sneaks into Sun-jae's school to watch him swim but misses him, instead bumping into Tae-sung, who is starting to feel differently about her. On her way out, she hears that Sun-jae was rushed to the hospital after an incident. Doctors inform him and his coach that his arm injury has worsened, and he'll need another surgery, followed by years of rehabilitation, ending his swimming career. Back home, Sun-jae's father, unaware, throws a celebration for his recent win and announces plans for training abroad. Unable to share the truth, Sun-jae lashes out, hinting at quitting swimming. This angers his father, who threatens to disown him if he brings it up again. Im-sol, arriving to comfort him, overhears the heated argument but remains hidden. Later, Sun-jae's father discovers his condition, and father and son reconcile. Gun-deok encourages Sun-jae to proceed with the surgery and decide his future afterward. At school, Im-sol encounters In-hyuk and snaps at him, knowing his fans will bully Sun-jae in the future. While talking, she's hit by a ball, triggering memories of the day her house burned down. Panicked, she tries calling her family, but no one answers. Meanwhile, Im-sol's brother, Im-gyum, accidentally leaves the gas on and becomes distracted. He eventually realizes the fire, carrying an unconscious Hyunju outside, where she regains consciousness and punches him, accidentally knocking out his tooth. Im-sol convinces Tae-sung to give her a ride on his motorbike, and they arrive just in time to extinguish the fire. This time, her mother is unhurt, and their family photo survives. Grateful, Im-sol offers Tae-sung a treat, though he suspects she's still trying to flirt with him. A few days later, Sun-jae undergoes surgery, and though Im-sol doesn't visit him directly, she discreetly takes care of him, delivering food to his family and other patients in his ward. Sun-jae notices her crying and is moved. The doctors express doubts about his swimming future, adding to his struggles. A week later, Im-sol brings food to Sun-jae's house after he's discharged. To thank her, Gunduk offers her omija syrup, not telling her it's alcoholic. She accidentally drinks it all, becoming tipsy, and follows Sun-jae to his school. Amused, Sun-jae sits with her as she drunkenly tries to cheer him up. She asks to listen to music, starts nodding off, and he holds her to keep her steady. As she leans closer, he pulls away, startling her awake. Still intoxicated, she mistakes him for a poster in her room and almost falls. He catches her, and in a spontaneous moment, he confesses his feelings. She responds with reassuring words, promising to support him, which moves him deeply, leading to a tender kiss. The next morning, Sun-jae misses the bus and can't sit with Im-sol, who's nursing a hangover and struggling to remember the night before. On the next bus, she discovers her iPod recorded their conversation, and she's mortified listening back. Before she hears his confession and their kiss, Tae-sung interrupts her, asking her to go out with him. Sun-jae, who has just caught up, is stunned by the scene. Suddenly, Im-sol experiences a time slip, flashing back to the future where she sees news of Sun-jae's death. Just as quickly, in the past, shocking everyone, herself included, by agreeing to Tae-sung's proposal. Sun-jae is left speechless. The story flashes back to a moment in the present day. It turns out that Sun-jae was the one who saved Im-sol after her accident. At the time, Im-sol was in a dark place, overwhelmed by everything, and even wished he hadn't saved her. She lashed out, asking him to leave her alone. The scene shifts to the day of the concert, now from Sun-jae's perspective. He recognizes Im-sol instantly and still finds her adorable, though she doesn't remember him as her savior. He gives her an umbrella, and she offers him his favorite candy, which he likes because it reminds him of the first time they met in 2008. Sun-jae even follows her home to make sure she's safe, showing just how deeply he cares for her. Back in 2023, Im-sol wakes up in the hospital to find Sun-jae's funeral being planned. The world is mourning him, and it's heartbreaking. The police visit Im-sol to question her, as she was one of the last people to see him alive. They show her a photo of them together as teenagers, which shocks her. She thought the future had changed. Saddened that she couldn't save him, Im-sol returns to the river, hoping for another chance to go back in time, but nothing happens. At home, she learns from the news that Sun-jae suffered from depression due to online bullying. This devastates her further. She later receives a call from In-hyuk, who hints that Sun-jae felt he owed her something, but the call cuts off before he can explain. At midnight, her watch twitches again, showing she can only time travel at that hour. She presses the button and returns to 2008, landing in the middle of an exorcism, as her past self thought she was possessed by a vengeful spirit. Im-sol quickly spots Sun-jae and heads over to him. But Sun-jae is distant. The past Im-sol has been pushing him away, focusing on Tae-sung instead. Im-sol learns she's been absent for 10 days, during which past Im-sol was entirely devoted to Tae-sung. Sun-jae barely speaks to her, and she realizes she'll have to work to regain his trust and perhaps even change his fate. She tries to reconnect with Sun-jae, but he's still hurt, especially by her attachment to Tae-sung. At the same time, Tae-sung notices her strange behavior, suspecting she has multiple personalities and calls her grandma to distinguish her future self. Meanwhile, tension brews as Bok-soon and Gun-deok squabble over a $3 debt from a borrowed DVD, and Hyun-ju struggles with Im-gyum's persistent demands for his broken tooth back. Eventually, Im-gyum saves her from an embarrassing situation in front of her friends, leading to an awkward bond. Im-sol meets In-hyuk, asking him not to introduce Sun-jae to the music industry. But In-hyuk, upset at her treatment of Sun-jae, tells her to stay away. Determined, Im-sol spends the day trying to win back Sun-jae's trust, even defending him from a bully. She also runs into Ga-hyun, and the two clash over Tae-sung, with Im-sol promising to break up with him. Ga-hyun doesn't believe her, and then Mr. Kim appears, breaking up the argument. Im-sol realizes Mr. Kim is the man who later brings Sun-jae into the music industry. Quickly, Im-sol hatches a plan to intercept Mr. Kim's business card before Sun-jae can accept it. She sneaks into Sun-jae's house and, through a clever trick, manages to get into his room. She ends up accidentally falling asleep while waiting for the perfect chance to sneak out with the card. Sun-jae finds her sleeping under his bed, initially thinking it's a dream but eventually watching over her fondly. When she wakes up, she tries to explain her presence, claiming she was just delivering books to help him with his injury. As they talk, Im-sol realizes she doesn't remember their drunken kiss, and Sun-jae, relieved but embarrassed, understands why she's been so distant. She tries to comfort him, reminding him of the supportive words he once told her, hoping to restore their closeness. Sun-jae, overwhelmed by the conflicting feelings her attention brings, asks her to leave, saying he can't handle the confusion her presence causes. She reluctantly agrees, taking the slippers he offers her and leaves, feeling heartbroken. The next day, Im-sol tries to break up with Tae-sung, but it's his birthday, and her past self had prepared a song for him. She awkwardly explains that she has 2 personalities and isn't fond of Tae-sung's closeness with her past self. Tae-sung seems to be using her to keep Ga-hyun away, but is intrigued by her future self. As they talk, Tae-sung asks about Sun-jae and whether he quit swimming. Apparently, someone posted about Sun-jae and In-hyuk's plans to attend an audition. Im-sol rushes out to find and stop Sun-jae. She runs into In-hyuk, and he informs her that Sun-jae got a call from his dad and left. She quickly rushes out again and falls down the stairs. However, she has no time to spare. In-hyuk calls Sun-jae, who is helping at his dad's restaurant, and tells him Im-sol is looking for him. Sun-jae is distracted after learning Im-sol fell down the stairs. He quickly leaves and spots her sleeping on the bus. By the time she was up, the bus was heading to the last stop. She quickly alights and waits for a cab when an old pervert approaches her. She threatens to call the police, and the man grabs her phone. In the struggle, Im-sol falls into the water. Thankfully, Sun-jae, who got a cab to find her, sees this and dives in to save her. As she watches Sun-jae swim towards her, Im-sol's memory from the accident returns. She remembers he is the man who saved her. After swimming to safety, Im-sol is grateful to Sun-jae and wonders how she could have forgotten such an important detail. She warmly embraces him as she cries. Sun-jae hugs her back, thankful she is okay. The epilogue reveals that Sun-jae purposely called Im-sol during the radio interview